chance.
You've experienced the highs of the NCAA tournament. You've also been on the other end of like some weird stuff like buzzer beaters and 50-50 balls go one way or the other. Have you changed your approach to coaching the NCAA tournament over your coaching career?
I think you learn each time you're in it. We were just talking downstairs actually about how to handle. You get a 40-minute open practice the day before. You get 20 minutes on the court the morning of the game. So you kind of learn going through different experiences how to do things differently. At the same time, every team is different. And I do think it's a huge advantage when you're in the NCAA tournament multiple years in a row with the same guys. We don't have that luxury just being new, and that's okay. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned is making it crystal clear to the guys, this is what it's going to take for us to win. Here's the rules of the NCAA tournament. They weren't dictated by us. They are what they are, and so it's on us to be our best.
You know, it's such a long season, but a lot of people judge the success of a season just on the results in March.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's fair, or is it just like the nature of the beast?
I think fair is a relative term, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world that's a lot more important than basketball that some people may deem fair or unfair. So, you know, for us to get caught up in the way someone else is evaluating our season, you know, to me that's pretty short-sighted. Our guys, to a man, have grown a great deal over the past several months. That's really important to me, to our coaching staff. You know, evidence of that, Justin Lewis, Most Improved Player of the Year. Like, that's an award, but it's also an experience and a real-life thing that has a lot more to do than it's a lot more than just putting the ball in the basket. But, yeah, I mean, I remember when we went to the Final Four when I was at VCU, and our rival was Old Dominion at the time. There was a great coach there named Blaine Taylor. Awesome coach, really, really funny guy. And he didn't really like all the attention that we got from going to the Final Four. He made a great statement, and I actually think there's a certain real level of truth in this, not just about our team, but about basketball in March at this college level. And he said, the NCAA tournament can make rock stars out of ordinary people. So in other words, you know, you win in March, you know, it reflects a certain way. I mean, this building is based on, you know, what happened in March. That statue right there, larger than life. You know, Coach McGuire was able to make multiple teams, help multiple teams through a bunch of different methods get to the end of the whole thing. So that's our goal, but that's 68 teams' goal. And regardless of how it goes when the season gets done, we'll do a holistic evaluation of everything that's occurred. There's already been a ton of good stuff that we feel really good about. There's been other things that we want to do better. But regardless of what happens, we're always going to want more.
On Sunday, you talked about a little bit of what you knew about UNC. In that time watching the film, what has stood out about this team that really got clicking at the end of the season? I think they won 12 out of their last 15 or something like that.
Well, I think they're playing great basketball. They have a lot of similarities with some of the great North Carolina teams from over the years. They're terrific in transition. They're a monster to handle on the offensive glass. They have really good players. I think Hubert Davis has done a phenomenal job getting them to really buy into defense and play with a level of aggressiveness on that end. You know, for us, I think the biggest thing is understanding how can we be our best attacking the things that they do on the offensive and the defensive end. We don't want to get too wrapped up in it all being about scouting or even it all being about their personnel. We got to remember, if Justin Lewis is at his best, if Daryl Morcell is at his best, the rest of our guys are at their best. That gives us a better chance to win than anything. But they've got a really nice team. They've had a heck of a year. Their win over Duke at the end of the regular season was just an extreme. I don't know how many teams would have been able to go into that setting on that day and win that game. And they just went and took the game down the stretch. So it shows what they're capable of.
Shaka, you mentioned 2011 and I know you want to keep it about the team, but how cool is it to be a part of a magical NCAA moment that nobody ever forgets, and one of the most biggest moments of the last 11 years?
There's nothing like it. I've told our guys, I tell them every year, there's no more special experience in team sports than advancing in the postseason. So at our level in the NCAA tournament, at the high school level, you make it to the state tournament, you advance. I'm sure the NBA playoffs, the Bucks beating the Brooklyn Nets after being down 0-2. There's no better feeling than that. And so this tournament, it's a do or die situation from the standpoint of single elimination. And when you win, there's so many positive emotions that you feel, and then you have a very short time to regroup and get ready for the next one. So I hope our guys get a chance to experience it. I mean, for the majority of our guys, this is their first chance experiencing even being in the tournament, hearing your name called, playing a team like North Carolina in the NCAA tournament on Thursday. But it's a whole nother level if you get to experience advancing and, moving forward to stay in the dance and play another game.
I'm the old guy that actually watched the 77 game live against North Carolina. How often are you reminded of that, and how special this is that the place that you're coaching was a part of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big history guy, so I like to walk back in the hallway here and look at some of the pictures and read a lot of the quotes. Obviously walk by the statue every day coming in here. And, my favorite quote back there is actually from Bo Ellis, and it came 3 years earlier in the North Carolina State game, or after the North Carolina State game. I believe as a freshman, he played every minute until he fouled out in that game, which is, think about that as a freshman. But after the game, Marquette lost, and he said, "We'll be back." He said, "It won't be here. It'll be in another place, but we will be back." And then, as Monty Williams has been saying with his team, well done is a whole lot better than well said. So he made it happen with his teammates, and they were back. They got back and won it all. So, I'm reminded of that all the time. There's a lot of really cool stories involved with it. And make no mistake about it, the number one thing that made that happen was you had great players that were connected around one vision laid out by Coach McGuire, and they brought it to life.
UNC's a blue blood, slightly higher seed. Do you think you could tap into that kind of underdog edge that you guys were playing with in January when you were beating like the top teams in the Big East?
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. We made a really big deal with our team before the selection show that it really didn't matter who we played, that it was more about us. So I don't want to be hypocritical with our guys and all of a sudden turn around and say, "Hey, we're playing North Carolina." To me, that's as big of as any program in the country. I'm as big of a Michael Jordan fan as there is. So it's Michael Jordan's school, and then if you've ever been in their arena and you look up in the rafters at all the guys that played there, just unbelievably special. So it's a great opportunity for us, in terms of being an underdog or taking that mentality. We want to have that mentality regardless of who we play in terms of having something to prove. And our guys, if we don't have that, then, there's something wrong.
How do you try to dictate the pace of the game, knowing North Carolina at times this season their guards have been able to turn over the ball a little bit? Maybe that fits in with the Havoc defense that you try to embody.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question because there's a lot of different factors that go into it. They can really get going. North Carolina's always been a team that can get going in transition, and their guards are dangerous. They've got, some guys that can really get going making shots. Brady Manick is having a phenomenal year for them. We're really familiar with him, playing against him the last 4 years when he was at Oklahoma. We'll do some different things. I think it still comes down to defensively making sure we sprint back and do a good job in transition and doing a great job defending them in the half court and not giving them easy opportunities. Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, those guys are good players. what Virginia Tech was able to do when they beat them in North Carolina's last game was, not hold those guys scoreless, but make things as challenging as possible for their best players.
On the other end of the court, North Carolina doesn't force a lot of turnovers on defense. Some of their synergy pick and roll numbers are a little lower than other teams that you faced. Studying them, are there opportunities for shots with your ball movement? Do you think that's an area that you could get some good shots?
I think if we play with the type of pace and energy and unselfishness and intentionality that we've played with when we've been at our best, then we can do some great things on the offensive end, regardless of the opponent, but including, in this game. That being said, North Carolina, they have a lot of aggressiveness on that end, so we can't play with passivity. They've got good size. They have good athleticism. Leaky Black is one of the best individual defenders in the country and team defenders in the country. Manick is really, really smart on that end. And they've got some experienced guys that know how to create the type of plays they want to create. So absolutely, we want to get Tyler and our other guys attacking and making plays for everybody.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.